Hello everyone, my name is Amanda Signorelli. I'm currently a sophomore and I'm running on the upslate for Vice President of Public Relations. I'm going to talk about a couple things. The first being why I decided to run for this position, what I think that entails, and some of the things that I'll be focusing on specifically as VP of PR. So regarding the first point, why did I even decide to do this? After working on the side of student groups with college Democrats and seeing how everything turned out with Bristol Palin, a lot of people were complaining about everything that had happened. And a lot of the comments that were made was just frustration with the process and not being familiar with it as much. And I started looking more into SU and realized if there's a problem that students have, it's always best to just do something about it rather than just talking. So I decided to look into SU, see if there's anything, whether it be in Senate, Treasury, or SU exec. And then John Harrison came to me with this opportunity and I thought it was perfect. So what is VP of PR in my opinion? I think it's kind of a three-part role. That is SU exec, which means taking on any of the projects that people come up with, either that comes from the students, the Senate projects, or things that are talked about in Treasury, or some of the initiatives that are outlined on our platform, which you can check on our website. Then the other part is just basic PR, marketing and public relations with different groups. So in terms of marketing, that's getting all of the words out for our initiatives that we have on campus. In terms of PR, that's making sure there's a two-way street communication between the student groups, the students on campus who are just individuals appealing for their own initiatives, and SU. We don't want to just be going around and telling students, hey, this is going on. We also want to hear what you have to say, which leads me to the final point, as the specific initiatives that I'm spearheading as part of the UP platform running for VP of PR. So there's a couple things. The first part is the soliciting student feedback. What this means is, once again, we want communication to be a two-way street. It's not going to be so much just telling you what's going on, even though we are planning on including the Treasury minutes and Senate minutes in the all-school email, but also getting feedback from students, specifically target focus groups. What we want to do is maybe it'll be bi-monthly or maybe it'll just be every few weeks. We're going to go ahead and have focus groups where students can come and talk about different issues. We want to have specific student groups come to some, but at the same time a random selection of students so that we constantly are hearing all the different opinions going around on campus. This is going to be a great opportunity for us to hear what you think, but it's also going to be extraordinarily helpful from an administrative standpoint because issues that may come up can be addressed to us and then we can pass along, essentially move them up, as the upslate would always say, to the administration itself. So this is going to be extraordinarily important to us to get everyone's feedback and just hear what you have to say, really preserving this whole two-way street of communication. Lastly, one initiative that I'm really proud of and really excited for that I haven't mentioned before is that we're going to try and codify a lot of the the SU and SIL policy codes, because there are so many different rules on campus, whether it be posting rules, whether it be not being able to use blue tape in certain buildings, not having balloons in the middle of the duct because they could go to the top. Lots of random things that student groups just aren't familiar with. So we want to go ahead and codify all of these. I'll be working with the VP Finance to do that. So it comes into a little booklet that SU groups can go ahead and gain access to, and there will be a lot less confusion about the resources and how you can effectively use them. So that'll be extraordinarily important and I think very helpful for student groups overall. And those are a couple of the things that we'll be working on this year. Lastly, from a PR standpoint, getting out the word about student groups and also the events that are put on both by SU and the students yourselves. What does that mean? Google Calendar. Now, a calendar is something that obviously is very useful for everyone, but how are we actually going to do that? Of course, there was the link. There's been other things before that. There's been the idea of putting something up against the duck wall. Different ideas have gone around. This year we're going to go ahead and try and do a Google Calendar that representatives from groups can have access to, and they can post on the Google Calendar the events that are coming up, and that link will be placed in this all-school email. So that'll be effective for both groups to use that for advertising purposes and for other people to use in terms of programming in the future so that you know what's going on campus. So these are a couple of the different initiatives that we have going on, and I'm really excited to hear what everyone says. So please vote for the upslate, and I'm really excited to start working potentially for the VP of PR position. Thank you.